Howdy. So obviously I'm not in the cabin this weekend. Yesterday I was busy. Today I woke up this morning, it was pouring out, and I was going to head down. I looked at the weather for today and it was pouring out all day. So I've had a project I need to do in my basement, and I figured I'd take you along to my mess. This is where we keep our food, our everyday food, and cleaning supplies in the bottom, and this mess. And it's been this way. We've lived here for 15 years. It's been this way. And for the last couple years I've been looking at different storage systems for our everyday stuff. Canned goods basically is a big one, because my wife will go out and buy crushed tomatoes or whatever. Use, say, 3 out of 4 cans, put the 4th can on the shelf, and the next time she goes out and she buys 3 or 4 cans for something that needs 3 cans again. So we end up having leftover cans of everything, and they end up getting stacked wherever they fit in here, and then repurchased over and over again instead of used. So I've been looking at the different FiFo shelves, and I had settled on the one from Shelf Reliance. They have a FiFo metal shelving unit, and but it was expensive. I waited for it to come on sale for a price I wanted. When I first started looking at it, it was like $250, and it never got to that price again. So this year I looked at their scratch and dent section, and for $200 I was able to get the 72-inch model, and I haven't even opened it yet, so I'm not going to take you through the whole assembly of it, because it's probably just like putting any other shelf together. My goal is to remove that door, which we've never closed in the history of owning this house. Remove this cabinet over there, and then put that shelf that's a little bit deeper than this cabinet in that spot. And I think I have space. I got to measure it all out. My original thought was to get rid of one of these 2 shelves, and looking at all the stuff my wife has piled in front, I don't think I can do that. So yeah, I don't think I can do that. Even if I remove all the canned goods and put the stuff up there, I don't think I can do that. So yeah, that is what it is. But I think I can fit it over here, and then have a row of shelves over here and a row of shelves over here. My house is relatively small. My basement unfinished area where we store things is only probably 600 square feet. A lot of that's taken up by things like HVAC, water heater, washing machines, and general storage. So I don't have a lot of space. The other half of the basement's finished. So yeah, let me open this thing up and start putting it together. I'm not even sure if I get this all done today. We have something to do later, so this might not be uploaded till later on in the week, because I have to empty that cabinet out, and I've done that before, and to empty it out and put everything back in takes about an hour. I have a cabinet, or a shelf that you can't see, it's off to the side over here. When I put that in place, I had to empty this out and move it over 4 inches, and it took about an hour. So let me get to it. When I first open it up, I'll have you for that, and then probably wait till I have it fully assembled, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so here's how it arrives by mail. I would advise, if you get one of these and your wife is home alone for the week, don't have it delivered that week. This box here actually isn't all that heavy. That long box there is I think the upright rails. This box here is very heavy. She was not happy with me. So yeah, try to have it delivered when you're home. It was supposed to rain that night, so she had to get it out of the driveway. She was less than pleased. So let me open this up. Okay, so this is the FiFo racks, and they use a plastic rack system, and the cans come down this way and then roll down, and they sit down here. This particular unit, because it was a scratch and dent, I didn't have a lot of options. I don't use a lot of number 10 cans, really any, but other than coffee and a couple things we can fit in there. I might end up replacing those, but for the price difference between a full price and these, I can get that and still be well under cost. And looks like one of the bags opened up, and it's all over the bottom. But yeah, so let me open up the other box. This is all plastic wrap. I don't know if there's instructions in here yet. Oh wait, yes. Here's instructions. So let me find all the parts. Open up the uprights. This particular box is very heavy. Very heavy belt. I mean, it probably weighs 50 pounds or so, maybe 40. Heavy enough that I got in trouble. This is the shelf part of it, the metal. Let me open up this little pipe without scratching it up too much. Should grab a pair of nippers. I have a pair of nippers right here. I do. It has their name right on it, Shelf Reliance, and their website, shelfreliance.com. These are the top pieces. Top sides. And I know the lighting isn't good in here, I'm sorry, it's my basement, not a studio. It's heavy enough that I couldn't have assembled it outside and brought it down here real easily. And I'm just going to remove all these parts and then I'll start assembling it. Like I said, I'm not going to make this a 2-hour video. I'm assuming most of the people who watch my channel can follow instructions. Okay, so it's been several hours and we actually left and came back. But this is all assembled now. So I cleaned up my entire basement. Most of the cans we got into here, we have a whole bunch of oddball single types of things, like most of our baked beans were this size can, but we had 3 or 4 that were bigger cans, and but not the same size, so there's no point in putting them in the rack. Yeah, so you can see how this all goes. Let me go grab some plastic pieces. We didn't use the number 10 size, I decided against it, which would go down here. I put the back brace in, but not the front one in, and I'm going to put a piece of plywood in the bottom for storage, and a piece of plywood in the top to act as a little bit of a shelf. So I'll have 2 shelves. There's not a lot of room above it, and you can't see it because it's out of the frame, but I have about at 10 inches up there. So these are the plastic frames for the number 10s that we're not using. And they would sit in the rounded part in the back, and there's a lip right here, and that fits into a slot on these metal pieces that go across. It's pretty self-explanatory once you start putting together. And then to lock each shelf in place, go grab some of those. Let's have where I put them. Okay, so to lock each shelf for the distance between the items, there's these little, I'm not sure how good it's going to come in the video, but these 2 little tabs right here, and these plastic pieces, and these just snap into place. And you would snap one from here to here, like that, and there's 3 snap points in between the shelf. This is actually backwards, but you get the point. And then to go to the next shelf over, you put the other snap piece like this, and that would go to the next shelf over. So it gives you the adjustability of each one of these fingers. It's not an awesome system, I did see another store after I purchased this one where it actually fits into a bunch of teeth, and that looks like it's a nicer system, but they didn't have a price online or shipping or anything, and these units tend to be pretty heavy and expensive. So, put that down. This system here, which comes with 3 of the smalls, 1 of the mediums, and I really could have used at least 2 extra plastic pieces on the medium. On the smalls I was fine, but I could have used 2 more plastic pieces on the medium. And that goes with 1 number 10 size can to the bottom. I probably didn't need to go as deep of a unit, but I measured out one of my existing shelves and I figured I'd have it fit flush. It's supposed to hold up to around 500 cans. I have no idea what the what type of cans or how they come up with that number. But when you want to put an item in, there's a tuna fish can on the top, and it goes down to the bottom. Sometimes you need a little help, but the tuna fish I had to make pretty tight. I have glass cans for my wife's gravy when she uses it for stuff, and for those I actually made it so tight that they don't rotate because I don't want to actually have those rotate. But for most of the stuff, Chef Boyardee, just like that, and you have first in, first out. So you get your oldest stuff first, and you don't find any cans. Like our oldest can we found when we were going through all of them was expired 5 years ago. And for the most part, I am not picky, and will use a can that expired 5 years ago, as long as it's not bulging. We have 1 can that was bulging. I threw that one away. The rest of them, are fine. You give them the sniff test when you open them up, and you've never gotten sick doing that. The whole unit as a whole is very heavy duty. I'm very happy with the build quality, especially for being a second. And I can see a couple scratches on the paint. This is in my basement. I really don't care. It took about an hour to put the shelf together, but then I spent about 2 to 3 hours cleaning my basement and getting everything organized again. So let me back up and I'll show you the whole scenes of the basement now. Okay, so now you get an idea, for my whole, this is our everyday food area. We got the shelf now, 2 shelves over there. You can see part of the one, this one here, which I want to replace. I hate this shelf. It's thin gauge steel and I'm always worried it's going to fall. And I really don't have as many tall items, so I could get more shelves in here and get more things packed. I need to go through some of the old canned stuff that was mostly gifts from people that we didn't like, so they stayed up here for a long time. We have this old cabinet back here. It's mostly my wife's baking goods. And I removed the door that comes into this area. We've never closed the door in 15 years of owning this home. So getting rid of the door wasn't a big deal. When I replace this shelf, I'm going to go slightly narrower. There's a 36-inch. I'll go with a 30-inch so that the opening between here is a bit wider, because this is where we do our laundry. And taking a laundry basket through there, people could bump the shelf, and I don't want that to happen. But yeah, so this is the Shelf Reliance. This is a Harvest 72 model, and it was scratch and dent. It was $200, which is a lot. And I know a lot of people watch my channel probably think, well, why didn't you just build something? And I wanted the ability to change configurations and be easy to build something that was fixed. Building something that allowed me to change would require more design work, and I didn't really feel like doing it. So and then for $200, it's not a bad price. By the time you're done building it out of wood, you're going to be about halfway there, and a lot of hours in engineering it. At the regular store price, I think it is $350, which to me was a bit much. $200, I'm happy with it. At $350, I wasn't buying it. Yeah, I like it. And my wife liked it. After she seen it here, she likes it because now she knows, well, we're running kind of low on corn. So we can get more corn cans, get a tray of corn. Where we have plenty of green beans. we don't need to buy any more of those for some time. Carrots, we got about half of a rack of carrots, so we could probably get a pallet, an 8-can thing of carrots would be fine. Beans, we could probably do the same, 8 cans of beans on the top of there. So when it comes to shopping, it makes it a little bit easier. And some of the stuff on the top here is stuff that we don't use very often, but when she does buy it, she buys quite a few, like the condensed milk. She doesn't use very often at all, but when she does a lot of baking, she'll use a ton of it. So, what would end up happening is she'd use a couple cans of it, and then have a can left over, and it would stay in the rack, in this big shelf over here forever. And she'd buy 3 more cans next time she did it. Now she can just go out and buy 4 cans, toss them in the top, take 4 cans out of the bottom, and keep on rotating out, so she always has stock in here in case she has an impromptu baking session. I like the system. I'm happy with it. They do make some shelves that go in the front, and I might pick up 1 or 2 after I make that opening wider, so that we can stack a couple things in the front. Like I said, my house is relatively small, so storage space is always a premium. And squeezing every last inch out is important to us. There's my sump pump. It's been pouring all day. It's why I didn't go to the cabin. So this is stuff we use every day. We have other food storage that we don't, and that's not here because I don't need it excessively. This is juice drinks for the kids, soup, canned meat. I always make a lot of canned meat dishes. So canned meat goes into here. Rice mixes, snacks for the kids, that type of stuff. Juice drinks. We don't drink a lot of pop, so that pop sits there forever. It's only for parties. The fruit drinks we use more, the kids drink them. Cleaning supplies I put down low. And one of the ideas was I put down things, my dog will come down here, and he's not supposed to, but he does, and help himself to things. So nothing on the bottom shelves here are really dog edible. They're all, cans of pop, the oddball cans over there, juice, which he's never tried. So everything on the bottom 2 shelves where he can get to them aren't things that he will try to get to. So hopefully he'll have fewer Otis-related damage. But I try to show it off, and people on my channel might be interested in it. If you're looking for a can organizer, this isn't a half-bad way to go if you don't want to make your own. If you want some adjustability in the design afterwards. So Shelf Reliance, I don't get any money from these guys. I don't get any referral money. And until I opened the box, I hadn't even seen the unit. But only tool required for assembly was a rubber mallet to bang these pieces down, and that was it. Everything. Oh, and a pair of snips if you want to be able to cut the ties. But even then, you could just use a pocket knife. So, like I said, Shelf Reliance, scratch and dent, $200. Not too bad. So until next time, thanks for watching.